All right, so then next up is the content marketing plan. Okay, so last topic here, and we're gonna cut the webinar off. The last topic here is your content marketing plan. So guys, for me, I'll tell you that content marketing was always something that I wasn't good at. I could come up with content, but it took me a really, really, really long time to come up with content. It was a bear, an absolute bear for me as well to get content to be consistent. Meaning every week on a schedule, I put out content like clockwork. Why do you think that for the last 51 weeks, right? I did an AMA, right? I knew that that was an issue and I saw an opportunity to better myself in that regard. So I want to share with you guys some takeaways, and I want to share with you guys not just the 80-20 of how to create content marketing for your agency, but really the 64-4 as well. Okay. So first and foremost, let's talk about the goals of our content marketing plan, just so that we can get crystal clear. At the end of the day, my content, when I do content marketing, I have a couple of goals, and I want to share those goals with you. And I've gotten more crystal clear on these, and that's why I'm actually changing up how I'm doing my content marketing, is because I got crystal clear on these goals. And over time, this has changed and it's been adjusted, but I want to share with you guys where I'm at right now. So first off, it needs to be a conversion mechanism. And what I mean by that is it needs to help me go from taking a prospect, AKA you guys, right, from cold and not knowing who the hell I am, to giving you guys content and giving you guys results in advance, so that when you guys are ready and when you're looking for a mentor to help you take your business to the next level, that I'm the go-to guy by default. That's the role of my content. And that should be the role of your content, number one, okay? Number two is that you should be going after rankings, right? You should be using this as a way to get in front of prospects, okay? These are the two big reasons in my mind that you do content marketing. Anybody else have any other reasons why they do content marketing? Right? Rankings, I would say ranking/traffic. And the reason I say that is because we get traffic at Digital Triggers now because we've been pumping out all this awesome content. We get people that are linking to our content and referring people and sharing it on social media, and people that I would say are influencers or have some influence in the space, and they're sharing the content with their audience because it's good. So if I'm not getting rankings directly from it, at least I'm getting the shares, right, which is resulting in traffic to me. Any other reasons besides traffic and rankings and conversion that you see to create content? I'll give you guys a little countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see here. Yeah, that's it. Build trust and authority. For me, Jamie, that goes under the conversion mechanism, right? Is trust and authority, but that's good. Yeah, and Google recognition, Alan, goes under rankings and traffic for me. So at the end of the day, what you should be asking yourself is, what's the 64-4, not just the 80-20, right? We're going to apply 80-20 to itself. And what's the 64-4 for us to start with? And if we'd like to then take it one step further, then we can go for the 80-20, right? If we want some more, if we want an extra, 16% there, right? We can implement more work. Okay, but what's the 64-4 of content marketing? Okay, so what I want to break down with you guys is a simple way for you guys to crush content marketing and help you guys get more conversions and also get more rankings and traffic. Does that sound good? That is our last topic of the day. So does that sound good? Is that worth the next 15 minutes or so as we break this out? And for all of you guys still with me, I appreciate it. Like, nobody has jumped off. And we've been going for almost 2 freaking hours. So this is the way that I wanted to end kind of the weekly AMAs, is with a freaking bang. And I definitely think we did that today. So awesome. We appreciate you, Joe Troyer. Thank you, Frankie. Appreciate it, boss. All right. So the way that I would do this, now looking back after 51 weeks of AMAs and content going out every day, this is what I would do differently. First and foremost is I believe that there's a better conversion mechanism than I've used. And I especially think that this is true in an agency type of environment. Have you guys ever heard about the webinar that doesn't matter? Have I talked about this? Jamie says, keep going, I'll stay all day. The webinar that doesn't matter. I know that I've shared this a little bit, but I don't think probably any of you guys have seen this. You guys heard me talk about the webinar that doesn't matter? Trying to get over the questions box. Sorry if it's taking me a second. Haha, evergreen webinars. No, man. Joe, we joined late. What's the link to the replacement program? So Mel, keep joining on this webinar. We're just going to change up the dates. It won't be every week now, just be every month moving forward. And we'll be updating the dates inside of GoTo. So you'll get a notification on the dates. Thanks for asking, Mel. All right, so when you run a webinar, everybody gets like super sketched out. Like, man, I got to convert on the webinar and it's such a big stressful ordeal. What if I told you guys that you guys could run a webinar every month and you didn't have to worry about closing people on the webinar? And instead, all that you had to do was worry about just adding value and educating your audience on a topic that you guys know about, right? And you could still close deals. Would that take all the pressure off of doing webinars? And could you see yourself running a webinar, just sharing marketing tactics with them? Right? And I would keep it like super simple. So it'd be like 25 to 30 minutes on any given marketing topic that you feel comfortable. Okay, one time per month. Would that take all the pressure off? No daily content, just showing up for a webinar, having some slides, talking about, let's say, Google organic and best practices, because I know you guys have been on a million of my webinars about Google, and you guys could quite literally just take the nuggets that I give you guys and repurpose them and talk about that and share that on a webinar. Would that help? Yeah, that would be easy, right? And you wouldn't have to worry about converting, meaning like doing the dreaded pitch and all the things you got to do in the pitch, and oh, don't wait, but there's more, like the Billy Mays, show. And you didn't have to worry about the entire sales process of a webinar, because that, guys, that's daunting. It has taken me years to perfect webinars, like years and years and years. It is a crazy, crazy craft to polish. So the webinar that doesn't matter is simple. Okay, so one time a month, you run a webinar. Okay, and if I were you, I would forecast out a couple of topics just so you didn't have to think about it. This month I'm going to talk about on-page SEO. Next month I'm going to talk about off-page SEO. The third month I'm going to talk about Google My Business. And now you got 3 months of content you don't even have to think about. You just show up with a couple of slides and that's it. Okay. Now here's what's important. The reason that we call this the webinar that doesn't matter is because the webinar doesn't matter. The thing that gets the sale isn't the webinar. It's the mechanism of you having a time and a place and a reason for somebody to show up. How many of you guys showed up today because I said today at 3 o'clock Eastern, I'm running a webinar and I'm doing something interesting? Give me a 1 in the chat. If you're joining me live, give me a 1 in the chat, because that's why you showed up today, because there was something to show up to. Okay, yeah, exactly. So the way that we do this is once a month, we send out an email to any of the current prospects or customers that we have on our list. Very simple. And you say, I'm having a webinar. You have a simple registration page. You guys can use whatever software you guys want to do this. And this doesn't even matter, guys. You guys have seen my registration pages for webinar. I guarantee it. Or my webinar has been like a title, learn how to do this in this. And there's no body, there's not crazy amounts of copy. That's all you gotta have. Don't overcomplicate it. Guys, I suck at copy, horrible. The reason that you see me do videos all the time is because I suck at sales copy. The reason that I have really short and attention grabbing emails is because I suck at sales copy. So I just lean into it. It's okay. And it works just fine. The reason that we call this the webinar that doesn't matter is because it doesn't. The thank you page, where you go after you register, this is what matters. So if you guys are all showing up right here, right now to join this webinar that's about building an agency, growing an agency, scaling an agency, and then on the back of it, I said, hey, thanks for registering, Chris, Alan, Frankie. If you'd like me one-on-one to help you build a game plan to double your agency and exit in under 24 months, schedule a action-packed strategy session below. How many of you guys would have scheduled that strategy session to spend that time with me? Give me a 0 in the chat. If I would have offered that to you guys when you went and registered for this webinar, how many of you guys would have said yes? So whether you call it a strategy session, right? You call it an action plan, it doesn't matter. But let's see. Let's see what you guys said in the chat here. Yeah. Most of you guys said yes. I would say about 50% of you said yes. Folks, this is what I call the webinar that doesn't matter. And the reason that it doesn't matter is because the content isn't what's doing the selling. It's the thank you page. Okay? It's putting people about thinking that they want to join a webinar about marketing, and then you give them the fast track on the thank you page to help them really speed up their marketing. All right, I'm back. Sorry, I was coughing. Do me a favor and give me a 0 if you guys can hear me again, and we're going to keep going on, okay? Alan Pepperdine says, where is the offer? I want to sign up. Yeah. And so that's all that you would use, guys, is that strategy session that we just put together and we talked about to sell your people. And because you're niche specific, everybody's going to want to show up to a webinar where you're talking directly to the business owner, right, or your target market about how ranking in Google can get them great results in their restoration business, in their plumbing business, in their whatever it is that you specialize in, right? So not only does this help you get customers, but you don't have to worry about, again, the pitch, which is typically the most important part of the webinar. Instead, you can concentrate on just giving value. Okay, so you could segment your webinar into a couple of sections, right? You could have like the housekeeping, which is like, if you need me, this is how you get a hold of me. If you have a question, here's how you can answer a question, just like any of the little stuff that I do at the beginning of the webinar, right? If you'd like to get on a call with us, here's how you do it, things like that, right? Then you give an outline of what you're going to cover. So thank you guys for attending. Today, what we're going to cover is how to go from A to B in your restoration company using Google Maps. And I'm going to share with you the 7 takeaways, right? And you put all 7 there that you need to know, and everything that you need to know about on-page optimization, okay? Each slide is one of these tips, okay? You run the webinar like that, and at the end, you talk about the action plan. And if you'd like to register for an action plan or a strategy session, whatever it is that you call it, right, go here. And you just give them the URL. No pitch, no nothing. People are going to get off that webinar and they're going to go, what the hell just happened? I just joined Carolyn. I just joined Chris. They gave me 30 minutes of great content. And then they just said, yeah, if you need help, I'm here to help. It's beautiful. It is an anti-pitch, and it works like gangbusters. And then they go, that person just gave me a lot of value. I should see if they could help me do what they just taught me. Guys, this is absolutely, absolutely beautiful. Okay, so now we got a content piece that is helping us convert people into customers. If everybody sees that, they understand that, Give me an 8 in the chat. Now we're going to talk about content marketing and how to make the most of the content that we have. Jamie says, is there a best day or time to do these? It's going to depend on the niche. Don't overthink it. Just get it done. All right, fantastic. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take each of these tips and we're going to chop these into their own video. So this becomes the first video that goes on our YouTube channel. This becomes the second, the third. This becomes the fourth, the fifth, the sixth. And you schedule these to go out, right? 1 to 2 times per week. When they go out on your YouTube channel, you also put them out on your blog. I would highly recommend that you also get them transcribed. There's cheap services that are like free, can't get cheaper than that, like otter.ai that will help you with transcriptions. Or if you want something that is very accurate, like no spelling mistakes at all, you can pay for it with a service like Rev. Okay, so we push this to YouTube, and the same day, the same time, we also publish it on our blog. This is going to get us YouTube rankings and get our site more traffic as it gets indexed inside of Google. Now, the 2 goals that we just set apart for our content marketing plan, the conversion mechanism is done with the webinar that doesn't matter. And then our rankings and traffic is completely done with the webinar that doesn't matter, with the content from the 6 or 7 tips that you give once a month. That is it. You asked for the 64-4. That is it, my friends. That is content marketing. You purposefully dropping out content each and every week and you converting customers. Guys, this will cost you. If you have a VA do it, you don't even have to do it. You get some Canva.com templates for your images, for your featured images. And we have a bunch on the Digital Trader site and on YouTube that we give away for free that I built. So we got featured images. You're going to pick a template, and then you can have a VA do this entire process. Okay, this will cost you under $100 a month to do from A to Z if you want to outsource the whole thing, or you can do it and it will quite literally cost you no monies, no dinero.